mornings. My last video was about why I love brutal TTRPGs, and I listed my 6 favorite. Folks have seemed to enjoy it, which is something I appreciate. Now, folks who create do want to know that someone is enjoying what they make. But here's the irony. In that video, I also pointed out that I don't only enjoy brutal TTRPGs. I enjoy many styles of play. And, well, the day my brutal TTRPG video launched, the Discworld Adventures in Ankh-Morpork RPG arrived on my doorstep. It doesn't even have rules for combat. What dice get rolled for checks is done via a conversation about a character's tags, and the book tells players to go nuts in how they interpret their characters. It's not brutal at all. And it is so narrative central, I suspect there are people out there who may try to insist it's not even a game. And I love it. We did a time skip in our last Numenera session, and so I opened up by asking the players what their characters had been doing during the interim. So in our previous session, the party had discovered they were stuck in a node in Numenera's datasphere with the reality settings turned all the way up to 11. And they began searching for a way out, but they started that process in an interesting way. They concluded that the best way to find the answers they needed was to integrate into the odd town in which they'd landed. And to do that, they headed to the town hall to see what clubs and activities were posted, like they were in some college dormitory. And this is what led to my opening question. So what clubs did you all join and what NPC did you meet through it? And the players' responses were amazing. I didn't warn them ahead of time. One joined the camping club and met a guy named Bobo who just loved being outside. Another joined the hiking club and befriended a landscape painter named Renoir. The third member joined the pottery club, and here's why he did it. He knew he wouldn't have to talk to anyone. And in that club, he just makes bowls. Nothing but bowls, that's all he does. Now, he did meet a person named Clyde, but he admits that he doesn't even know if that's the guy's real name. That is really wild. And then finally, one character tried to join a card game, but he got tossed after a couple weeks because they figured out he could count cards. He has since joined a board game club and has a new rival in the form of a 7-year-old chess prodigy named Reginald. And how Reginald knows what chess is a billion years into the future is yet another mystery we may have to solve. That was a good chunk of our first hour of play, and it was so much fun. Hats off to my players. You guys did a great job. I shared my stack of games for review a couple of weeks ago, and that may have some folks wondering, Wes, why are you just shoving those books around your desk like that? Why not put them on a shelf until you're ready to read them? It's for a very simple, though admittedly strange reason. Shelves are for books I have read. If a book is on a shelf, it moves into my mental checklist with the complete tag. Pull it off when I need it or when I want to reread it, but it's no longer in the need to be read column. So if I put my stack of needs to be reviewed games on a shelf, there is a real chance I'll never get to any of them. And I'm not kidding either. I've got a biography of William Penn. About 10 years ago I obtained it and I started reading it. And I'm about a third of the way through, but during a season of, hey, let's put things on shelves to get rid of some clutter, I put it on a shelf. I haven't read another page. In fact, most days I forget it exists. I only remembered it now because we did a deep clean of our bedroom this past weekend and I saw it. So that stack of games and we're going to be friends for a while because it's the only way I will remember they exist. All right, I can't share the map yet because my players haven't arrived in that location, but I used my book's tablet to draw a town map by hand for the first time. Now, is it any good? Now, if you interpret that as professional, then no, it's categorically terrible, but it's mine. And for me, that is valuable beyond measure. I just don't have the steady hand to draw the way a lot of creatives do, and that's something which has frustrated me over the years. When I'm using a pen or a pencil, I can't do straight lines, and shapes never match up. They end up looking more like suggestions of shapes more than anything else. And the more careful I am with those things, the worse they look. Now, I've tried making a map like the one I just drew on my books on my computer or on my iPad, and it just never felt right because using a mouse felt too distant, and the pencil on my iPad's glass screen, it was just too slippery. The books feels like I'm writing on paper and that I don't have to jab the screen to make the ink flow. I still get the benefit of the digital screen of my drawing snapping into the intended shape, and the look of the e-ink screen is so pleasant on my eyes at the same time. I never thought I'd be able to create a town map that would be helpful for me at the table, at least not by hand. And now I've made one, and that is gratifying. It's been a while since I've shouted out some of my friends this hobby has given me, and I'm going to correct that oversight right now. Al Spader is one of the folks from the Yellow Hand. He's the author of Sentience, a game about a civilization of robots left behind by their creators to terraform a planet and have gained sentience in the interim. I still need to play this game, Al, by the way. He's also one of the folks who created Redacted, a 1950s flying saucers were real RPG, which is 1950s sci-fi blended with the X-Files and Men in Black. It is a wild time. He's also one of the folks who writes for Star Trek Adventures and is doing something for the Cosmere TTRPG, but he's being good and won't tell anyone what's in it. Now, Al is kind beyond words. He's one of those rare people who just shoots past the acquaintance stage and goes right into being a full-on friend. His games are also a ton of fun, so please go to the Yellow Hand, check them out. The aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln is coming home after a record-breaking tour and no port calls for over 200 days. Think about how long that is. There are reports of food shortages, contaminated water, mechanical failures, and sailors attempting to jump overboard just to get away. The frat boy who thinks that leadership is nothing more than puffing up your chest and shouting a lot thinks these are all misrepresentations. Pete, I gotta tell you, if he didn't talk about war with the mentality of a middle school child, people would be more inclined to believe you. As it is, not so much. Oh, and when asked if the deployment was too long, the Orange said that, it wasn't long enough and then walked away. He also thinks he can make the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory. Once again, the Kennedy Center will be closed for a 2-year renovation, which has nothing to do with all the acts who are canceling their appearances at all. And the board of cronies has voted to give the Orange credit for the project in a large plaque that will be put on the building. He's not giving this one up. The Orange had to hide in a catering truck because of an Iranian assassination plot. The GOP's sudden surge of principle evaporated, so the president's defense lawyer could be sworn in as the attorney general, and the regime is still trying to undermine the upcoming midterms. Also not going to give that one up. Oh, and because ICE can't help but point guns at people while shouting at them, exposing them as the rabid animals that they actually are, they're all getting shock gloves. I'm sure this will end so well. Now, in other news, I did not have Spider-Man jumping over the cab of a pickup truck to punch J6er insurrectionist Jake Lang in the face on my 2026 bingo card. While I don't condone violence as a rule, and I'm absolutely holding to this one, folks, it doesn't end well for anyone, ever. We call it the cycle of violence and the myth of redemptive violence for a reason, right? But I will say the photo looks like an actual comic book cover, and that's pretty wild, which was also not on my 2026 bingo card. I put my name in for a freelance TTRPG writing gig this month, and I have no idea if I have a shot at getting it, but the process itself was worth it. I don't do a good job promoting myself. Imposter syndrome keeps telling me that I'm nothing but a bother who will never get over the hump to make it, whatever that looks like. And because of this, most times I wind up not trying to go for something I want because I psych myself out before I even get started. This time, I didn't do that, and that's a victory by itself. Also, thanks to all my friends who helped me shape my resume into a better format. That means a lot. We didn't have a Tales of Argosa game the last 2 weeks because life got in the way, but this is giving me time to work on the next adventure, and I'm rather excited for them to get through it so I can put it up on my Patreon. Speaking of which, if you'd like to support the channel by becoming a patron of Caffeination, like the fine folks shown right here on screen, you'll get ad-free videos, most often in advance of YouTube, my adventure journals as my groups complete each arc, adventures I write for one-shots, templates you can use on your own handwritten journals, and even early versions of some stuff that I'm considering publishing. It helps me continue making this content, and I hope it brings a benefit to my patrons. The link to join is right there on the screen, and it'll be in the description for this video as well. Thank you so much. My friend John Fredericks from Sharp Mountain Games has released the second version of Streamline Superheroes. It's available as a PDF on DriveThruRPG and in print through Amazon. There's some nice updates to the system to speed up gameplay, and John's put more of his artwork in it as well, replacing some of the public domain stock art from the previous version. I talk about Streamline Superheroes a lot because it's both a wonderful sit-down-and-go TTRPG and a great example of one of my favorite TTRPG genres, superheroes. And when I say it's sit down and go, I mean it. In fact, you don't even need to sit down. I've played this game with one of my friends, 2 8-year-olds, character sheets typed in on smartphones and a dice rolling app while standing in line at Disney World. And the kids kept wanting to play again. I've also run it twice in an airport terminal while waiting to board a flight, which John does shout out in the new version. Thanks, John. Streamline Superheroes is little known, and it is a labor of love for John. And it is so much fun. The game isn't expensive, and if folks would consider supporting him, I would be overjoyed to send him some sales. The link's been on the screen. What are you waiting for? The CAFFEINATION tabletop events page has launched, and we are both accepting game submissions and applications to sponsor the convention or have a vendor table. The convention will be held April 30th and May 1st next year in lovely Palmyra, New Jersey. If you can run some games, you'll even get a free badge. Badges will go on sale for the general public soon. There's some cool stuff that's going to be going on that I'm not quite ready to announce yet, but this year should be a great time. There's the link. Come on out and roll some dice and do some good. Okay, coming up on the channel, I am writing my review for Shadow West and for Six Gun Doomsday. Those will be the next 2 coming up. After that, I have got the box campaign, Flowers of Aldreb for Coriolis the Great Dark, that I have started reading, as well as the Discworld RPG, The Adventures in Ankh-Morpork, which is really, really cool. Those should both be pretty quick reads, and I'll get those up as well for review pretty soon. I also have Outgun Superheroes in there as well. That's going to be coming out, and I want to do a review of the layout and design of the Cypher character book. Just throw that up, maybe as a short, we'll have to see. I do have some live stream interviews that I do want to get scheduled. I was having some problems with my upload speed. Those have now been sorted out, so now I can actually think about rescheduling them again. Hopefully that will continue, and we'll get that done as well. And if you are paying attention to my Discord or into my post on my community post here in YouTube, you'll know that I've started writing a TTRPG, and I'll be having some more updates about that in the very near future. I'm really looking forward to bringing all of this to you folks. Until we see each other again, happy playing, everyone.